Have you ever wondered why it's so hard to build new habits, even when you really want to? You promise yourself to eat better, to work out, to stop scrolling, and yet 3 days later, you're back to square one. Here's the hard truth. It's not your fault. You don't fail because you're lazy or unmotivated. You fail because you're using the wrong system. That's what jamesclear figured out, and it changed everything. In his best-selling book, Atomic Habits, he shows that success doesn't come from massive action. It comes from tiny, consistent changes, small habits done daily, repeated until they become automatic. In this video, we're breaking down the ideas from Atomic Habits that have helped millions of people take back control without needing motivation. Let's start with the core idea behind all of it. When I first picked up Atomic Habits, I was stuck. I had goals. Sure, wake up early, be more productive, work out consistently, but nothing ever lasted. I kept blaming myself. Maybe I just don't have enough discipline. But this book flipped that idea on its head. jamesclear said something I'll never forget. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Boom, that was it. I realized I didn't need bigger goals, I needed better systems. And once I understood how habits actually work, everything started to shift. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the exact ideas that helped me build real momentum, starting with the surprising truth behind what habits really are, and why your brain is secretly working against you. Let's dive into the core idea of Atomic Habits. So here's the big idea behind Atomic Habits. You don't get results by setting goals. You get results by building systems. Think about it. Everyone wants to get fit, write a book, grow a YouTube channel. But wanting isn't enough. Goals are about outcomes. Systems are about processes. And it's your process, your daily actions that actually shape your life. jamesclear calls these small actions atomic habits. Why atomic? Because they're tiny like atoms but powerful. These little behaviors may seem insignificant at first, but when repeated consistently, they create massive change over time. Imagine improving just 1% each day. After a year, that's not 365% better. It's over 37 times better. That's the power of compound growth. The best part? You don't need to be perfect. You just need to show up and let your systems carry the weight. So how do we actually build a habit that sticks? Start with understanding the habit loop. Every habit, good or bad, follows the same invisible pattern. It's called the habit loop. It has 4 steps. Cue, craving, response, reward. Let's break that down with a simple example. Checking your phone first, the cue. You hear a notification, ding. Then comes the craving. You feel a little curiosity or boredom. Who messaged me? Next is the response. You'll pick up your phone and check it. Finally, reward. You satisfy that craving with a quick dopamine hit. Cue, craving, response, reward. This loop repeats over and over until it becomes automatic. That's how habits are formed. Let's look at a healthier habit. Going for a walk. Cue. You finish dinner? Craving. You want to relax or clear your head? Response. You put on your shoes and step outside. Reward. You feel calm, refreshed, proud of yourself. Here's what's important. If you want to change a habit, you can't just will yourself to do it. You have to redesign the loop. Want to build a good habit? Make the cue obvious, the craving attractive, the response easy, and the reward satisfying. I want to break a bad habit? I'll do the opposite. Make the cue invisible, the craving unattractive, the response hard, and the reward unsatisfying. It's not about being strong all the time. It's about setting up your environment and your routines so that good habits happen naturally and bad ones get triggered. That's what makes atomic habits so powerful. It's not about motivation. It's about working with your brain instead of against it. And now that we understand how the habit loop works, it's time to dive into the real strategy. The 4 laws of behavior change. These are the step-by-step tools you can use to actually design a habit that sticks. Each one maps perfectly to a part of the loop, and we'll walk through all 4 with real examples, starting now. Let's start with the first law. Make it obvious. Most people fail to build habits because they rely on memory. But here's the truth. Your brain doesn't like thinking too hard. It follows whatever's most visible and convenient. Jamesclear suggests something called habit stacking. It works like this. You take a habit you already do attach a new one to it. For example, after I brush my teeth, I'll do 10 push-ups. After I make coffee, I'll write 1 sentence in my journal. By anchoring new habits to old ones, you create a clear cue that your brain can follow. You can also change your environment to make cues more obvious. Want to read more? Leave a book on your pillow. Want to drink more water? Keep a bottle at your desk. When your brain sees a clear signal, the habit becomes automatic. Next up, make it attractive. Let's be real, your brain chases pleasure. If something feels boring or painful, you won't stick with it. That's why Jamesclear recommends using temptation bundling. It's the idea of pairing something you need to do with something you want to do. Example: I'll only listen to my favorite podcast while I'm running. I'll only watch Netflix if I'm folding laundry. This makes the habit more appealing and easier to look forward to. Another trick? Surround yourself with people who already have the habits you want. We imitate the behaviors of those around us, especially people we admire. Want to get fit? Spend time with friends who work out? Want to grow creatively? Hang around people who build things? Habits are contagious. Make yours attractive by changing what you link them to want, who you learn them from. Law 3 is a game changer. Make it easy. Most of us overthink this. We plan big changes. I'm going to work out an hour every day, then burn out by day 3. Instead, Jamesclear says, reduce friction. Make your habits so simple you can't say no. Want to start meditating? Just sit for 1 minute. Want to write? Open a blank document and type 1 sentence. This works because of something called the 2-minute rule. When you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. You're not trying to finish a marathon on day 1. You're trying to show up repeatedly. Because once you're in motion, it's much easier to keep going. Also, prepare your environment. Lay out your gym clothes. Pre-cut veggies. Set up your workspace the night before. The easier it is to start, the more likely you'll stick with it. And finally, make it satisfying. This is the part most people skip. They do the hard work, but never reward themselves. Problem is, your brain learns from immediate rewards, not long-term outcomes. If a habit feels good, it's more likely to stick. So find a small way to celebrate. Cross off a checkbox, track your streak, say nice work out loud. Jamesclear even suggests using visual trackers like a wall calendar. Mark an X every time you complete the habit. Your brain loves the satisfaction of progress. If you miss a day, no worries. Just follow the rule. Never miss twice. Slip-ups happen. But what matters is that you bounce back fast. Remember, The goal isn't perfection, it's consistency. Let's recap the 4 laws. 1. Make it obvious. Create clear cues. Use habit stacking. Make it attractive. Bundle it with something you enjoy. 3. Make it easy. Start tiny. Use the 2-minute rule. 4. Make it satisfying. Celebrate small wins. Track progress. When you apply these 4 laws, you turn vague hopes into real behavior. Stop relying on motivation and start building systems that do the work for you. And now, let's talk about one of the most powerful shifts in the whole book. Changing your identity through your habits. Most people try to change their habits by focusing on outcomes. They say, I want to lose 10 pounds. I want to write a book. I want to get more views on YouTube. That sounds logical, but according to Atomic Habits, it's actually backward. Jamesclear says real change happens when you start with your identity. Instead of asking, what do I want to achieve? Ask, who do I want to become? This is a powerful shift. Don't try to write a book. Become a writer. Don't try to work out. Become someone who never misses a workout. Don't try to get organized. Become an organized person. Every time you follow through on a habit, you're not just changing what you do, you're casting a vote for the kind of person you want to be. For example, when you go for a run, you're telling yourself, I'm the kind of person who takes care of my body. When you write for 5 minutes, even if it's not perfect, I'm the kind of person who creates. These small votes add up. Eventually, your identity starts to shift. This is why habits matter so much. They're not just actions. They're proof to yourself of who you are. And here's the best part. You don't have to believe in the new identity right away. You just need to act like it's already true, one small habit at a time. So if you've ever felt like you're not that type of person, maybe you're not a morning person, or not confident, or not disciplined, this book says, you don't need to become that person overnight. You just need to start acting like them now. Let your habits lead the way. And if you're thinking, okay, but I've tried before. I always lose momentum. Don't worry, you're not alone. In the next section, we'll talk about why progress feels invisible at first, and how to stay consistent even when it feels like nothing's working. Here's something nobody tells you about building habits. Progress is often invisible. You start eating healthy for a week, no big changes. You go to the gym for a month, you still look the same. You practice English every day, but you still freeze during conversations. It's frustrating, right? Jamesclear calls this the plateau of latent potential. Imagine you're trying to melt an ice cube in a cold room. At 25 degrees, nothing happens. 26, 27, 28, still nothing. But then, at 32 degrees, boom, it melts. Was the heat at 32 degrees the magic moment? Not really. All those previous degrees mattered. They were building pressure, quietly, and suddenly it clicked. Habits work the same way. You may not see results right away, but the effort isn't wasted. It's being stored. Compounding, James says. Breakthrough moments are often the result of many previous actions, which build up the potential required to unleash a major change. So if you feel stuck, discouraged, or like you're not making progress, don't quit. You're not failing. You're just in the plateau. Keep showing up. Keep casting votes for your future self, because one day you'll hit that tipping point, and everything will look like it happened overnight, even though you know better. Now let's see how we can apply all this in real life. All right, so how do you actually use all of this in your real life? Let's say you want to build a reading habit. Don't start with, I'll read 30 pages every day. Start with, I'll read 1 page after I make my morning coffee. That's habit stacking plus the 2-minute rule. It's obvious, easy, and sustainable. Trying to get in shape? Lay out your workout clothes the night before. Do 10 jumping jacks right after brushing your teeth. That's it. Don't overcomplicate it. Want to grow on YouTube? Write just one video title idea per day, or record a short 30-second voice note to brainstorm. The trick is to make the action so small that you can't fail and so consistent that it becomes part of who you are. Of course, you'll face challenges. You'll miss days. You'll feel like quitting. That's normal. The key is this: never miss twice. One bad day is human. 2 in a row is the beginning of a new habit, usually the one you don't want. So give yourself grace, but stay in motion. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to show up. These tiny wins are what build momentum, and over time, they lead to big, visible results. Now let's wrap this up with one final reminder that ties everything together. So here's the real magic of atomic habits. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need superhuman discipline. You just need to start small, because every action you take is a vote for the person you want to become. And the more you cast those votes, the more your identity begins to shift. That's how change really happens. Not in one giant leap, but in tiny steps, repeated daily. 1% better, again and again, until one day you look back and you've completely transformed. So what's your next small win? Start there. Stick with it. And let the results speak for themselves. And if this video helped you even a little, consider supporting the channel. Comment and subscribe for more powerful book summaries that help you grow one page at a time.